These gentle somatic movements, based on the work of Thomas Hanna, should be considered as an important part of your daily routine. When done slowly and with awareness, they prepare your body to move freely throughout the day. Choose loose, comfortable clothing and a quiet space free of distractions. Remember, what is important is what you are sensing on the inside as you reawaken muscle control by engaging the sensory motor nervous system with your complete attention. As we progress through the movements, there will be quiet time for you to feel the effects of the movements in your body. While somatic movements are appropriate for any age or activity level, certain physical conditions are structural in nature and may require the intervention of a doctor or surgeon. If you are unsure, please consult your physician before beginning any new exercise program. Lie on your back with your legs extended and your arms relaxed at your side, and let's begin with a Soma Scan, noticing what does it feel like to be you. Start to notice how your breath is moving you. Notice what it feels like to be laying on your back. Bring your awareness to your heels. How are your heels making contact with the mat? Is it the same on both sides? Do you feel pressure on the outside of one foot or directly on the back of the heels? Does it feel like your toes are turning in or turning out? Now bring your awareness to your legs and notice where your calves are making contact with the mat. Is it the same on both sides? Is there space under your knees? Are the back of your legs resting on the mat? Notice your pelvis. Does one side feel heavier than the other? If you imagined a horizontal line between your two sitting bones, would that line be level, or would one side be above or below that line? What is happening with your lower back? Is there an uncomfortable arch there? Does one side feel more arched than the other side? You can even slip your hands under your lower back and feel with your fingers if there is a difference in the muscle tension. Now bring your awareness to your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. How do your shoulders feel? Are they relaxed against the mat? Or do they feel as if they are rolling up? Are both shoulder blades resting with the same pressure on the mat? Notice the position of your hands. If your palms are down, keeping your arms on the floor, slowly roll the arms, hands, and wrists away from your body until the palms are facing the ceiling, and see what that feels like. If your palms are up, slowly roll the arms, hands, and wrists towards your body until your palms face down, and notice what that feels like. Do this slowly several times, and notice that when the palms are face down and close to the body, the shoulders are pulled up and towards each other, adding tension to the shoulders and the neck. When the palms are face up and slightly away from your body, the shoulders relax and open, and you feel that opening through your chest. Lastly, bring your awareness to your head and neck. Does your neck feel relaxed in the back, or does it feel pinched? Does it feel like the shoulders are hunched up around your ears, Or do you feel space between the shoulders and the ears? Does one side feel different than the other? Where is your head resting on the mat? Is your chin tilted up and back or down towards your chest? If you opened your eyes, go ahead and open your eyes. Are you looking straight up at the ceiling? Or are you looking behind you or towards your feet? Does it feel like your head is tilting to the left or to the right? And now bring your attention to your breath. How is the breath moving the body? Arch and relaxation. Bend your knees and let your heels rest in front of your buttocks. Not so close that you tuck your pelvis, and not so far away that you bring an excessive arch into the lower back. Take a second and experiment with the placement of your feet. Walk your feet close to your sitting bones and notice how that flattens your back. Now, walk your feet away from your pelvis and notice how that increases the arch in your back. Find the place where you feel your pelvis resting comfortably on the mat and your low back is in the neutral position. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Begin to breathe in and out through your nostrils, fully and peacefully, letting the breath move into your belly. Notice the hand on your belly rise with your inhalation, and try to keep your shoulders and the hand on your chest quiet. As you inhale, do the muscles of the lower back begin to contract gently? As you exhale, can these same lower back muscles relax to neutral? You might find yourself wanting to press your back down, but instead, let your back relax because you give it your full attention. Remember, Somatics is not about exerting effort from the inside, but it is all about learning to take back conscious control of our brain-to-muscle connection. Now relax your arms by your sides. Imagine that your pelvis is a bowl filled with water almost to the brim. As you inhale and fill your belly with the breath, gently press your pelvis into the mat, letting your pelvis tip forward as if a few drops of water were spilling out of the bowl between your legs. On your exhalation, melt your back all the way to neutral. Continue to inhale and fill your belly, tipping your pelvis forward, pressing your tailbone into the mat, and spilling a few more drops of water between your legs as you arch your back. And then on your exhalation, let your back float all the way to neutral. You are pandiculating the muscles of the lower back, contracting them with your arch, and then slowly and consciously releasing them back to neutral. Make sure you feel this contraction of the back muscles. If you can't feel it, you can't begin to change it. On your exhalation, let your back melt all the way back to neutral. Notice, when you contract your back, your stomach must relax. Repeat this arch and relaxation a few more times, pressing the tailbone into the mat as you inhale, letting the lower back muscles contract, and then letting your back float all the way to neutral on your exhale. Now bring your attention to the front of the body. With your next exhalation, start a slow, deep contraction of the abdominal muscles. And notice how this flattens your back into the mat. Your pelvis tips backwards, and the drops of water begin to run towards your chin. Slowly release this contraction and let your pelvis return to neutral. You are pendiculating the abdominal muscles, first contracting them, and then slowly and smoothly releasing them. Repeat this 2 more times on an exhale. Contracting the abdominal muscles and flattening your back, and then releasing the contraction and letting the pelvis return to neutral. Now let's put these 2 movements together. Inhale and fill the belly, letting the back contract and arch as the pelvis tips forward. Then exhale and let the back soften to neutral. Take an inhalation, and on your next exhalation, contract the abdominals and notice the back flattening into the mat. And then slowly and with awareness, release the abdominals and let the pelvis return to neutral. As you repeat this movement a few more times, notice that when the back muscles are contracted, the front is relaxed. When the muscles in the front are contracted, the back is relaxed. This ability to control the muscles in the center of the body is key to freedom of movement in other areas of the body. Repeat this arch and flatten 1 more time, and then extend your legs out onto the mat with your arms relaxed at your sides, and notice what you feel. How is the breath moving you in the center of the body? Arch and curl. Bend your knees and place both hands under your head. Let the weight of your head rest on your hands. And let's begin to explore the arch and curl. If you find this position of the arms creates tension in the shoulders, place a pillow under each elbow to support the upper arms, or continue to do the movement with your arms relaxed at your sides. Inhale into your belly, pressing your tailbone into the mat and letting your low back contract and arch. Exhale and let your back float to neutral. Inhale, and on your next exhalation, contract the abdominal muscles and flatten your back into the mat. Once your back is flat, fold your elbows inward and curl yourself up, bringing your elbows towards your knees, being mindful not to pull on your head or neck. Slowly release back down to neutral. Let your elbows relax back to the starting position and feel the openness in the front of the chest. Repeat this movement slowly and with awareness. Inhaling into the belly, pressing your tailbone into the mat and letting your low back contract and arch. Exhaling and letting your back float to neutral. Inhaling, and then on the exhale, contracting the abdominal muscles and flattening your back into the mat. Fold your elbows inward and curl yourself up, bringing your elbows towards your knees, being mindful not to pull on your head or neck. The point is not to touch the knees with your elbows, but to allow the back to lengthen as you contract in the front. You are recreating the red light reflex of stress and worry, and then releasing this reflex as you melt back down. Notice as you curl up, that long abdominal muscle that goes from the pubic bone right up to the ribs contracts and then slowly lengthens as you melt back down. It is during the slow, smooth release that the change takes place in the sensory motor nervous system. When you've completed your movement, extend your legs on the mat with your arms at your sides and feel. How is the breath moving your body? Does your back feel more relaxed? Is there less space between your back and the mat? Does your belly expand more easily with the breath? Side bend. Let's turn our attention to the sides. Bend your knees and roll over onto your left side. The knees should be folded on top of each other and bent at right angles to the body. Be mindful that you are on your true side and not leaning forward or leaning backward. It might be helpful to do this movement with your back against a wall or a bolster to help keep you on your side. Extend your left arm out on the floor so that your left ear can rest on it like a cushion. Now take your right hand and rest it on the crown of your head. If you have a shoulder injury, you can keep the right arm extended on your right side. As we do the movements, I will use both arm positions, and you can choose whichever works best for you. Think of your rib cage as an accordion. When you inhale, you are filling the bellows of the accordion, and when you exhale, you are squeezing the bellows shut. Inhale and fill your right rib cage with your breath. Exhale and squeeze the rib cage shut as you float your head off the mat and your elbow moves towards your right hip. Feel the muscles of the side contract. And now inhale and slowly release back down, allowing the rib cage to open up. Repeat this one more time. Inhaling, filling the rib cage, exhaling and contracting the side, letting the head and the shoulder float up. Inhaling and slowly lowering back down. And now place your right hand on your right waist. Keep your knees glued together and check that your hips are still flexed at 90 degrees and your knees are flexed at 90 degrees. Inhale and fill your waist under your hand. Exhale, and as you contract at the waist, keep your knees glued together and float your right foot up towards the ceiling. Inhale and slowly relax your right foot back to the starting position. Repeat this one more time. Inhaling, feeling the bellows of the accordion. Exhaling and floating that right foot up towards the ceiling. Inhaling and slowly and smoothly relaxing the foot back down to the starting position. Okay, let's put these two movements together. Holding the crown of your head with your right hand. Inhale and fill the bellows of the rib cage. Exhale, contract the ribs as you float the right foot up and let the head and the elbow move towards the right hip. Notice, does your hip move towards your armpit, or does it roll forward or backward? Slowly float back down as you inhale and you fill the rib cage with your breath. Repeat this movement 2 more times. Be mindful to move the hip and the armpit towards each other, using the muscles of the waist and not the muscles of the front or the back. And now bring yourself onto your back with your legs extended, your arms resting at your sides, and notice what you feel. How does the right side feel? How does the left side feel? How is the breath moving the rib cage on the right side compared with the left side? Bend one knee, bend your other knee, and roll over onto your right side with your hips flexed at 90 degrees and your knees bent at 90 degrees. The knees are folded on top of each other. Extend the right arm on the floor so that the right ear can rest on the arm. Take your left hand and hold the crown of your head. Since your brain is now familiar with the movement, we will put it all together right from the start on this side. Inhale and fill your rib cage with your breath. Exhale and float your left foot, elbow, and head up simultaneously. Inhale and relax back down. Now let's explore a different possibility with the arm. Relax your left arm along your left side. Inhaling, filling the rib cage with your breath. Exhale and slide your hand towards the bottom of the mat. Feel the contraction all along the left side. Inhale and let yourself relax back to the starting position. Putting the movement together with the arm and the leg, inhale and fill the bellows of the accordion. Exhale, and as you float your left foot up towards the ceiling, slide that left arm down towards the bottom of the mat. Feel the contraction all along the left side. And now inhale and slowly and smoothly float your foot back to the starting position as you allow the rib cage to open up and allow the head and the shoulder to come back to the starting position. Let's do this one more time, and this time challenge your brain. Choose the arm position that works best for you. And on the release, let the head and the foot touch down at the same time. Now relax back onto your back. Extend your legs on the mat, arms at your sides, and feel. Does the left side feel longer? Do you feel more movement with your breath on both your right and your left sides? The washcloth, variation 2. Bend your knees and bring your heels in front of your sitting bones. Relax your arms at your sides and press your right shoulder blade into the mat. And now release that press. And repeat this 3 times. Notice that as you press your right shoulder blade into the mat, this causes the left shoulder to lift slightly. Now press your left shoulder blade into the mat and release it. Repeat this 3 times. And notice the effect on the right shoulder as you press the left shoulder down. Now take your arms and move them away from your sides as if you were making the letter T. Be careful not to let your shoulders shrug up around your ears. Place the right palm up and the left palm down. Keep your arms on the mat and begin to roll your right arm, hand, wrist, and shoulder towards the top of the mat. Notice how your right shoulder blade presses into the mat. And now roll your right arm back to the starting position. Now take your left arm and roll your arm, hand, wrist, and elbow towards the bottom of the mat. Notice how the left shoulder blade presses back into the mat. Roll your left arm back to the starting position. Now we'll put the movement of the arms together. With your right palm facing up and your left palm facing down, begin to slowly roll the right arm, hand, wrist, and elbow towards the top of the mat as you simultaneously roll your left arm, hand, wrist, and elbow towards the bottom of the mat. Your right shoulder blade is pressing into the mat as your left shoulder is lifting away from the mat. Continue to do this in a slow, lazy manner. Let your attention move up your arms and into your shoulder blades. Moving from the center to the periphery is one of the key principles of somatics. As you alternate the arms back and forth, let your head begin to go along for the ride and rotate towards the hand that is rolling up. Don't overdo it. Use as little effort as possible, and let the movement be fluid and graceful. One arm rolling up as the other arm is rolling down. The head rotating towards the hand that's rolling up. And now let's add the legs. Slowly let your knees begin to fall in the opposite direction of the head. And simultaneously reverse everything. Your head is always turning to the hand that is facing up, and your knees are always dropping in the opposite direction. Let yourself move back and forth, with the arms rolling in opposite directions, the eyes looking to the hand that is facing up, and your knees floating in the opposite direction of your head. Enjoy the lengthening of the sides as you gently wring yourself out. The ribcage in the front of the body should feel relaxed. Repeat this lovely full body movement several times at your own pace. Be mindful that you are lengthening your sides and not arching your back as your knees fall from side to side. And now bring yourself back to the center Extend your legs on the mat. Relax your arms at your sides and feel. How is the breath moving your body? Do you feel more movement of the ribcage? Even though our focus has been on the sides, do a Soma Scan and sense how these movements have affected your shoulders and your hips. If you sense your body from side to side, does it feel different than when you did your first Soma Scan? What do you feel? Does your back feel more relaxed? Does your belly move more easily with the breath? Has the pressure shifted where your pelvis is resting on the mat? Take as much time as you need here to complete your own Soma Scan. When you're ready, bend your knees, roll onto your side, and carefully bring yourself to standing. Close your eyes and feel yourself in gravity. Shift your weight to your heels. Shift your weight to the toes. Shift your weight back and forth between the right and the left side of the feet. And now bring your weight to rest on the front of the heels and the balls of the toes. Make sure your knees are not locked. Open your eyes and take a slow walk around the room. Notice how the hips are moving, how the arms are swinging. Gradually increase your walk to a normal, relaxed pace. Take yourself into your day with this awareness of what it feels like to relax the back, to breathe into the belly, and to move with ease.